This is the Rose Gold vinyl. We've now successfully cut this out on the Silhouette Cameo. As you can see, following the instructions given on our blog, where you're firming this vinyl down with a roller, a brayer, or even an old debit card. So there's no air bubbles in it before you try to cut it. And you can see that is still nicely stuck to the backing paper. So I'm going to give this a weed. I'll just stop the camera for a little while, and then you can see it's all when it's all been weeded. Some people do seem to be reporting some problems they're having when they're trying to weed this. If you, as per the blog article, if you add yourself in some manual weeding lines, that's going to help you considerably with your weeding. And it's breaking down the areas into smaller amounts to weed, and as you can see, that's weeding quite well. This vinyl does have an airflow backing, so if you've not got a very wide area for it to grab onto, it does tend to come away from the backing on some of it. So if that starts to come up, just press a bit of pressure with your finger, and that's straight back down again. So as long as you take your time, you add these little weeding lines in. Use some good weeding tools. I mean, these tweezers are absolutely amazing for getting the smaller things out. And then you see that start to lift off, but straight away I'm just pressing that down, and that is now stuck to that backing sheet. So I'll just peel that off. That's coming, and again that's starting to lift, but I'm just pressing that down, and that is straight back. This doesn't affect the fixing of your decal onto your mugs, glasses, or anything, because once you've applied it and it's stuck, it is well and truly stuck. It's just this airflow backing on the liner that's causing some people a little bit of an issue. So you can see it's actually coming up there, but we do it and we press that back down, and that is pretty much stuck back onto that backing sheet. Just moving on to where I'm weeding the butterfly. This has got a much larger area to it, so the weeding is not as delicate to do as perhaps the thinner fonts are. That's coming off a treat. You can see again where it's just slightly lifted, so all I'm going to do is just press that down with my finger as I go along. So if you just take your time, be patient. If it's starting to lift, just literally press it down with your finger. You can see that's lifted up there. Okay, that is loose away from the carrier. I'm pressing that down. That is now stuck on the sheet. Okay, we'll get that little bit out there. Again, that antenna's come up, but just press that down. I'll just pull that off, and then get my tweezers, press that back down again, and then I can just carry on with the rest. That's pretty stuck down around the edges now. Alright, so again, if it's lifting, not a big problem. Just push that down. So if you can just a little bit of pressure on that, that's just going to help it stick back down again until such time you're ready to put it on your design. So it's actually weeding quite nicely. Get the grip on it. Okay, we'll get this one done, and then for those that still can't manage it, I'll show you how to do a bit of reverse weeding. Just another quick snippet of a little bit of weeding in process. This is the bird one. Again, because I've put these extra weeding lines in, rather than trying to have to pull out that entire piece, which then risks lifting that bit, I've broke it down so you can actually see I've got a cutting line I've done on my machine going across there. So rather than having to take out one big huge piece, I've broke it down into a smaller piece, which makes it more manageable to weed. So that's weeding okay. You can see again it just slightly lifts off, but I'm just using my finger just to hold that down in place. That has there as well, so we just hold that down a bit. Okay, and then round there. These weeding lines are a godsend. So definitely worth doing if you can just take the time to do those. That's going to help you considerably. So again, you can see that's lifting off, but not an issue. Just peel that back there, and that one's around there. Let's move that out of the way. So that the lesser pieces you've got to try and contend with, and you break your weeding areas down. So yep, that came right off the sheet. It is loose, but all I'm going to do is push that down with my finger. That is stuck. That is not going anywhere now. So I'm rubbing that, and that is not moving anywhere at all. That's well and truly stuck. So any problem you've got with it lifting as you're trying to weed it, use your weed lines as this lift and push it down, because with that pressure you can see now I'm pushing and that is not moving anywhere. Same with the Live Life Laugh. I'm going over that. That is well and truly stuck to the backing at the moment. Okay. Another way to get over the issue of it lifting as you're trying to weed it is to do reverse weeding. So just take your decal without anything that's been done to it at all. Get your piece of transfer tape. Place that over the vinyl. Rub that down firmly. Okay, and then peel that all off. And then what you're going to do, with the vinyl stuck to the transfer, you're going to take your tweezers, and then you want to remove, I think that bit's got accidentally stuck there, so oh there it has come off. You're going to actually remove the bits that you don't want, leaving your vinyl that you do want still stuck to your transfer paper. So I'll just do that, and I'll give you a shot of it once it's done. You can see as we're weeding this one, because the vinyl is already stuck to this application tape, as we're weeding it, absolutely nothing is lifting at all. So if you can't get your issues sorted using normal weeding process, then just try this reverse weeding, and say nothing's going to be going anywhere because it is already stuck to the transfer paper, and it's actually weeding really well. What do we all do with our sticky bits when we're weeding? I tend to screw them in a ball. I've noticed a lot of people are buying these little rings that you can put on your finger that hold pots of nail varnish. Probably quite a good idea, because I end up with a fistful of screwed up vinyl. So over there. Right, I'll just stop this one so that's all done, then you'll be able to see the finished bit. There we are, that's that one all done, and that's using the reverse weeding, so that is already on your transfer tape, ready to pop onto your project. Okay, so say you want to recap, watch the video again, or just refer to our website, and we'll have an article in the blog that will give you all the hints and tips on successfully cutting and weeding our rose gold self-adhesive.